Here we are, 2025, the 1st of January, and I'm down here in Kilian Thomas Woods in County Kildare, and I just thought I'd do a quick video to thank each and every one of you who took the time to comment on the last video I posted. I really wasn't expecting it to do that well, but it obviously resonated with a lot of people. But I also want to thank people who shared their comments, who have opposing opinions and views, because those comments are just as valuable as the people who agree with you, to be honest with you. I'd much rather stand in a room full of people who have different opinions and views than people who think the same way as you all the time, because it builds character, builds strength, and it's nice to receive that kind of feedback. I'm not always right. Just because I walk around with the camera trying to build a channel doesn't mean what I say is right. I'm just saying what I believe and what I feel at the time. And I wanted to achieve a goal last year, and on the 22nd of December I didn't just achieve the goal, I surpassed it. And that's with your help and your support and your encouragement. So thank you very much. I will say though, while reading the comments, and I apologise if I haven't received or replied to everyone's comment. I really didn't believe I was going to get that many comments on the video. But I did flick through a lot of the comments on it, and that advert kept popping up in my head, that TV commercial from years ago. I can't remember what company it was for. If you can remember, leave a comment down below. But it was along the lines of a series of clips of celebrities, the likes of Muhammad Ali, Gandhi, John Lennon, saying about the misfits, the square holes in the square pegs in the round hole, the people who see things differently. And all as I kept thinking was of all the people who, the quiet ones, the people who feel as if the weight of the world is on their shoulders, or they've had a series of a bad run of events in their life. You know, the people who bear physical and mental scars. Because in the comments, a lot of people say, I am their age, and what they're going through, or what they've been through, or what they've achieved. And that's your story. Your story can quite possibly help someone else in that situation. But you don't realise how strong you are, and you don't realise the courage it takes to write something like that. You know? And that's what I kept thinking of. It's not easy. You know, life is it's like a ship. It's not built to just sit in calm waters. It's also built to go through the rough seas. And anyone who's going forward or wants to achieve something, or is going through something right now, it's not easy. You know, you're going to get people, the naysayers, the negative people who comment on your appearance, the way you sound, the way you look. But that's your motivation. That's my motivation. I was receiving comments about me, the fact that I've got no hair, so what? The fact that I'm slightly carrying a few extra unwanted pounds, great. Doesn't really bother me. Just keep moving forward. That's your motivation. That's your fuel. Not the people that disagree with you, because everyone's got the right to have a different opinion. But it's the naysayers and the people that say you can't do this or you shouldn't say that. You know, that's your motivation. It builds courage when you stand up against that. And a lot of people have been through that right throughout their life. But this year, make a difference. This year, the world needs people like you, and the world is ready for you now. You know, to stand up and tell your story and to move forward. And I'm still here, you know. I'm still here doing the videos, and yet I've I haven't found it easy, but here's your chance. Your chance starts today. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and you can do it. And it doesn't matter how small or big or hard the challenge seems, or the focus or the direction you're going in. Just do it, you know. But that's what I was thinking of when I was reading the comments, is you really are a lot stronger than what you believe you are. It's like years ago when I worked in the gym, everyone used to come in and say, oh, I'm not fit enough, I'm not strong enough. But if you watch any of the top fitness videos, you'll realise a lot of the top instructors say that people can lift and do more than what they think. You've just got to put your mind to it. And when you put your mind to it and you go forward, I think personally, I believe the reason you do meet people who try and knock you off course or try to kill your dreams or try to say something negative about your character or your appearance is because that's life showing you, is it really worth what you're doing? Is your direction or your dream or your goal really worth it? And do you really believe in yourself? And if you keep pushing on through and dare to go into the unknown, you do get rewarded, you know. And if you believe in miracles, if you don't, but I believe miracles happen when you do take that foot into the unknown and you knock aside everything that's trying to basically knock you off course and persuade you to go a different direction. How many people today have tried to do something and someone's persuaded them that something else is better, and then you've got to a certain destination and you're filled with regret because you really wanted that goal? Well, that's why people are put in your way and circumstances and events. That's what I believe. If you share a different opinion, let me know, because we've all been through something. We've all been through something that's not been pleasant. And there's a lot of stories out there to prove that you look at the people who have changed the world or done something different in life. They weren't all graced with good looks or the best communicators. They weren't people of courage, but they've learned it and they've developed that skill and they've learned to build that thick skin, you know. And that's what I was getting from the messages, very powerful messages that were left on the last video. And it just shows you don't have to change the world. It could be just your neighbourhood or your community or your household. But start with you. Start with yourself and just see what happens, because, yeah, as a lot of people pointed out, the world's going in different directions. But just focus on yourself and see what you can do and see what a year brings you. This time next year, look back at what's happened, look back at the things that you've gone through, the challenges. There's a great scene in a film called Evan Almighty, where I think his wife is at the diner, and I know it's a film, but she's talking about things to be patient for, I think. And he says, God doesn't give you patience, he gives you things to challenge your patience or to be patient about. And it's a story that I learned years ago of a man who went to the wise man in the village and he said, I want a house with more space. And the wise man didn't ask him why, didn't say anything. He just said, okay, but the first thing I want you to do is invite your brothers and sisters and their families into the house. So he did. He says, come back to me in a week's time. And he come back in a week's time and he says, I've still got no more space, what do we need to do? He says, now invite your neighbours, invite your closest neighbours to come and live in your house, and then come back to me in a week's time. So he does, and he comes back in a week's time and he says, listen, he said, there's not much room in the house anymore. What do we need to do? He says, now go around all the strangers that you don't know and invite them into your house and come back to me in a week's time. And when he comes back in a week's time and he says, listen, I can't cope anymore. He says, there's literally nowhere to move in the house. What can I do? He said, I asked for more space. He says, right now, ask everyone to leave. And he went back and he asked everyone to leave. And then he went back a week later and he said, I didn't realise how much space I had at the time. You know, and that's kind of the way sometimes I feel, is you don't always get what you want. You get things to challenge what you want, to see if it's really what you want, you know. And it's that simple, and it's up to us to decipher which way we want to go or what we want to have. But that's really the message I wanted to share today. First of all, thank you. Thank each and every one of you. I just realised that you're here today. You've made it, you're still alive. And whatever it is you're feeling or you're going through, that's your story. That's your story, because you never know who it can help or what it can do to you, your community, your neighbourhood, your school, whatever it is. You don't know unless you try. But anyway, have a great day and I'll see you soon.